Look at some news abroad now. U.S. Attorney General William Barr says he won't be bullied anymore. Barr is putting his foot down over President Donald Trump's attacks on prosecutors, judges and jury in the trial of his longtime advisor, Roger Stone. Well, Trump's tweets on the trial have raised some concerns. His administration is weakening the rule of law. In an ABC interview, Barr says the constant commentary makes it impossible for him to do his job.
To have public statements and tweets made about the department, about our people in the department, our men and women here, about cases pending in the department, and about judges before whom we have cases, make it impossible for me to do my job and to assure the courts and the prosecutors in the department that we're doing our work with integrity.
Let's get some context to the story now. I'm joined from Washington by our correspondent there, Jagriti Dave. Jagriti, thanks so much for your time. So we heard a little bit there from William Barr, but just give us the backstory. He's saying he won't be bullied or influenced, and referring there to President Donald Trump. Just give us a bit more detail about what it was that Donald Trump did to make him feel this way.
So all of this centres around the figure of Roger Stone, President Trump's longtime friend. In November, Roger Stone was convicted on charges of lying to Congress and witness tampering in the part that he played in finding information on Hillary Clinton, President Trump's opponent in the 2016 election. And this was part of Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian election interference in 2016. Prosecutors recommended that Roger Stone get a sentence of about 7 to 9 years. But on Tuesday, the president took to Twitter to criticise this, saying that it was unfair to Roger Stone. Now, on the very same day later on, the Department of Justice overturned the sentencing recommendation, saying that they would look for an unspecified term for Roger Stone. And this led to the 4 prosecutors, the entire team on the Roger Stone case, to quit their jobs. And it led to calls that the president and the Department of Justice was unfairly interfering in legal proceedings. Now, this is why William Barr then did this interview where he said that the president is making it impossible for him, the Attorney General, to do his job.
So is this a question of actually Barr doing Trump's bidding but not wanting him to actually publicize this by tweeting, etc., etc., or is he genuinely upset then that Trump has created a perception that Barr's helping his friends and thereby undermining his credibility and the work of his office?
So yes, there are several ways in which people are reading this interview by William Barr. Those who back the president and back William Barr are saying that we should be taking this at face value. This is the Attorney General telling the president that he can't do his job properly if the president is tweeting commentary. And so this is, we should be taking this at face value. There are those, particularly Democrats, who are criticising this, saying that this is not the Attorney General telling the president that he's undermining the rule of law. This is William Barr telling the president that he shouldn't be telling the world about how he's undermining the rule of law. There are others who are saying that this is in fact an orchestrated coordination between William Barr, the Attorney General, and President Trump. Now, those who believe that Barr has done the president's bidding are now saying that this is William Barr just making a show of the independence of the judiciary through this interview, trying to quell maybe dissatisfaction within the Department of Justice, those who are concerned about the accusations of interference. William Barr has maintained that the actions that the Department of Justice took were separate, that they happened, that the decision was taken to reduce the sentencing before the president tweeted. But nonetheless, there are different ways of looking into it. The argument that this is coordinated is bolstered in the view of some by the fact that the president doesn't really brook objection, public objection and disagreement particularly well. Those who have publicly opposed him swiftly find themselves out of a job. So why would William Barr, who has backed the president to the hilt until now, all of a sudden come out in this very public way against the president if it didn't have his backing? So these are some of the questions at play as to how to read this interview.
So, Jagriti, I mean, I suppose either way, and however you look at it, or whatever your suspicions are about, Barr's reaction to this, this must have damaged the credibility of the U.S. justice system to some degree.
there are many who are saying these are in fact the concerns. So one of those is Senator Kamala Harris, former nominee for the presidential candidate in the Democrat Party, and she has called for William Barr to testify about the Department of Justice's role in the Holstone investigation, in the Holstone prosecution, claiming that this whole incident has undermined the integrity and the independence of the legal system. William Barr again saying that this is not the case, that he is just doing his job and that he has not succumbed to any pressure from the president.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much. Our correspondent in Washington, Jagruti Dave there.